Delarite, my MVVs, welcome.
Yes, so Delarite, they say Ooni of Ife presented palm oil, Kolanut Oríkì, one of the finest Orikis. I don't know where they brought that man from. Inside Ooni of Ife's palace, okay, inside Ooni of Ife's ancient ritual for Queen Naomi. They say the ritual for Queen Naomi this time, like it really burnt the ego of the Oloris, because Kabiyesi insisted on presenting these things by himself. You know he is king. He doesn't need to present anything. He doesn't even need to be there. And that is why, sorry about the sound. I told you, see, for like how many weeks now, I don't understand what renovation that they are doing that they will not finish. Please, if you're hearing this sound, hopefully they finish you. The sound, the noise is too much. They say what affected the ego of the Oloris was the fact that some of these things that were presented by Kabiyesi himself. He was right there in that sacred ritual ground and presenting these items by himself, a king. And this is one thing that, in fact, a lot of people have been wondering, like, is Naomi this important to Kabiyesi? Is a question that everyone has been asking. So let me take us, inside the heart of, Yoruba mysticism, where royalty isn't just defined by crowns and title, but by the unbreakable bond between the earthly and the divine. They said a dramatic and sacred moment unfolded within the ancient palace of the Ooni of Ife, and every corridor is still vibrating from its impact. Yes, sir, Delarite, the Ooni of Ife, the custodian of Yoruba tradition and divine mouthpiece of the ancestors, shook not only the council but the entire palace by stepping into the sacred inner chamber personally to present palm oil, kolanut, and recited Oríkì praise poetry directly for Olori Naomi. Now, this is one thing we talk about. When a woman has value, when a woman knows her value, things will be different. Ooni of Ife that doesn't even go to marry his wives. Ooni of Ife that will send representatives to go and marry wives for him. He doesn't even move from the palace to go and marry his wife. That is Kabiyesi. He can send people here to Brazil. They'll marry the finest virgin for him from the biggest family. Because why? Because he is Ooni of Ife. For Kabiyesi to have entered that sacred chamber to go and present palm oil, kolanut, and recited Oríkì praise poem for Queen Naomi by himself. They have the Oríkì praise poet in the palace now. Are you aware? And it's not only one. The other time I did a video, I thought it was only one. They say Oríkì praise poet, they are like 4 inside the palace. Now, usually, when they do this, their traditional thing where they need to recite or, sing their verses and all of that, any of the Oríkì praise poet can do it. But this time they said Ooni of Ife had to do it by himself. This was not just any presentation as we are hearing. This isn't a routine offering. These carried the weight of centuries of royal tradition, the force of divine instruction, and the stink of rejection for other Oloris. From what we are hearing, they say these Oloris reportedly washed in stone silence and later uncontrollable anger as Ooni of Ife decided to present those things by himself. That it did not just go well with Oloris, like the jealousy, the anger, and everything. Who the hell is Queen Naomi for Kabiyesi to want to bear this by himself? Who is Queen Naomi? What is Queen Naomi doing? A lot of them have concluded that Queen Naomi is doing something that they do not know, that it is not even possible, because to even be with the Ooni of Ife is a big deal. Even for people like Dr. Elizabeth, as Ooni of Ife respect Dr. Elizabeth and everything. Even Dr. Elizabeth doesn't even have that much time with the Ooni of Ife. Now, sometimes when we are talking like this, a lot of people might just think that, they are just blabbing. But you used to say it. You say it. When Ooni of Ife and Dr. Lizzie will want to go out or something, you see the way they will greet, you will know that they probably have not seen the whole of that money, or maybe they saw 3 days ago. But they all live in the palace. I do know that a lot of people think that because Ooni of Ife lives inside the palace, the Oloris live inside the palace, they see each other every day. They do not. They don't. The palace is like a big estate. That palace, that Ooni of Ife palace, that place, that big mansion that you see there, is like a big estate. Inside there, the Oloris are living in their different flats. Kabiyesi is living in his own different part of that mansion. You don't go there uninvited. Is that the kind of marriage that they have with Kabiyesi is not the kind of marriage that you and your normal husband you're sharing, where you share the same room together. You can go and hold your husband jolonto, and maybe you're playing with your husband, or you just play and fall on your husband's body. And their own is not like that, though, my sister. It is not like that. Their marriage is different, okay? Their marriage is different. Now, for Kabiyesi to be the one who agrees to present those things, it's a big deal. And I guess this is the same reason why they keep believing that Naomi is actually doing something to Kabiyesi. Now, let us go into the things that the Ooni of Ife presented. He presented Kolanut that they call Obi. I don't know if that's the pronunciation, but the spelling is Obi. They said in Yoruba cosmetology, Obi is not just a snack. It is the ultimate gateway between the human and the divine. It is the first item presented in any ritual consultation with Ifa. The splitting of the Kolanut is how the gods speak. To present Kolanut to Queen Naomi by his own hand is the Ooni telling God, okay? Ooni is telling the gods, she is my covenant, she is my chosen, Ooni is speaking, to the gods, telling the gods what Queen Naomi is. And that happens to be a very serious spiritual declaration, okay? Now, they talked about the palm oil that is called oye, okay? Is it oye? Delara, people should not tell me to bring my bum, so you flog, oh, please forgive me like you have always done. Now, palm oil represent preservation, sweetness, and the anointing of destiny spiritually. It is used to seal sacrifices and prayers. By applying it with his own hand to the ritual plate for Queen Naomi, the Ooni spiritually anoints her headship again. It is a signal to the gods and the palace that Naomi is not just a returning wife, she is being spiritually crowned again. These are the significance of this. Now, let's go to Oríkì, okay? Now, Royal Yoruba praise poetry, it is an oral archive of a person's spiritual identity, lineage, and destiny. When the Ooni chanted, Naomi's Oríkì himself before the gathered elders, he invoked her spirit, her ancestors, and her rule as the one appointed by the gods to work with the king. Oríkì is not given lightly. To hear it from the lips of the Ooni himself, that is royal fire. This is what we are hearing. Love is sweet, oh, Delara. That's sweet in my belly. Hi, my baby girl, Oloris Naomi. Now, why is this significant? Okay. Now, because in palace history, the king usually delegate ritual items. It is the chief priest or the palace emissaries who handle the offering. But this time, the Ooni insisted on doing it himself. That alone set the tone. A king does not involve himself at this level unless the matter carries deep spiritual urgency or personal conviction. Okay. And this, Della writes, is where the gbasgbos began. Word quickly spread among other Oloris, Ebony, Oletik, Blow, Ikpe, everybody, that Queen Naomi had been singled out in a way, none of them would ever experience. None of them would ever receive this kind of, treatment from the Ooni of Ife. They're not fit. They're not fit. They say this pains them. Sources close to the palace say, Ebony, Mama Tuno was the first to react. Known for, of course, her deep knowledge of traditional spirituality, she reportedly told close allies, this is not just, favoritism, this is elevation. Naomi is not returning as an equal. She's returning as the original covenant. She stormed out of the chamber, visibly shaken, that she was, furious. Ebony was feeling so bad over what Ooni of Ife is doing, that this is serious marginalization and she is not going to continue to take it. Go now, Grigo. Ebony, they like bone when hook person for throat. Vomit am, e no gree come out. Swallow am, the thing no gree go. Na so ebony dey. You did every day. It cannot continue to happen. It cannot continue to happen. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? They say these people were so upset over what has been going on in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. I'm going to bring him up there. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as facts.